Hello! Today we're going to have a look at the Guardians Garrison from a level design and world design perspective. And I think this is our final quote-unquote fort for this series. Actually, every single area with this particular icon over here. And I think this is the biggest one yet. So which is fitting because we are currently very close to the end of the game on. Close is like relative, right? So let's have a look at this thing from the outside first, excuse me. Because this one looks a bit more complex than the other ones so far, I think. What we have here, again, a staircase leading into the fort, or the garrison this time. Which again means that you have to carry stuff that comes in by a wagon, or by a cart. You have to carry into the fort itself. I mean, maybe because this one is straight, if it's a small cart, you can maybe carry this one with an ox or something in here. Maybe because it's straight, like... Could be. This could be the best staircase so far. Man, I'm impressed. Okay. This is getting annoying. Please leave me alone. Okay. Excuse me. So, on the outside we have these two wooden thingies, which are possibly there to release stones or logs onto the enemy. And from this side, it quite makes sense, right? We are here on the outside, and when the enemy comes from here and tries to climb up this wall, they can release the stones in there and it drops down on them. And also, if there are boulders inside, they would also roll down this way because of the... You can see it goes down here. But this one isn't working that well, because if the enemy is coming up the staircase, then it's just dropping besides them down there. When the enemy for some reason is here, then I guess it would work. But if you're attacking from the front or from this side, then you go up here, basically. Like, come on. But let's get into the castle, or into the fort thingy first, because we have a double door here, which is interesting, and one of these thingies that I've talked about here on the inside, which is also interesting, but there is a double door, so... Okay. Is there... like... Okay, why isn't this one walled off? Like, you could easily put walls here, and then you don't even need this gate. Like, it's just weird. I mean, okay, they built this here like a balcony, but it's very unsafe, and why does it even exist? Like, what the hell? Let's get inside. Down here we have a lot more interesting enemies, because we have player characters, like this one. Player characters, player models, and a few dogs and a few rats, I think. Yeah, a few rats. And a bit more wooden structure than in the other forts. So let's go up the staircase first. Other than the... or contrary to the other forts, this one doesn't have a room. There's no room inside, so I would expect, or I would put in here a little room, because I think there's room in here. So why isn't there a room? Where are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep outside in these tents? Maybe that's a bit cold, especially in this area. It's quite cold here, right? Maybe you could do it underneath here if there would be more wooden beams here, so use this as an interior. Maybe wall this off with like wood. But I guess it's fine so far. Looks quite nice. I really like the details with these unnecessary ropes they have here. But I don't know why they switch between wooden structure down here and then stone structure. They could easily build this like all out of stone if they need extra space up here. But down here is nothing, so why even bother? Then we have this fairly hidden ladder here, which is quite interesting that they've hidden a ladder here instead of making a staircase. Like here, there's a staircase, but so it goes, the level goes on up here, but it's quite hidden, I must say. So it's a bit of a head scratcher there. More wooden structures. These are sadly not high enough to... Yeah, that's a single wall piece, so sadly not high enough to actually use this one. I guess they could build more wooden support or wooden, like, floors up here, but why not make this higher up? Like, what? So let's quickly go up here. So more of these enemy types, which is interesting. Here's nice wooden support, so you can actually shoot this way. Sadly, it's not on the side where the enemy can actually come from, because we have a cliff here. There's a cliff and more head scratchy thingies. Then. Yeah, this wooden structure. And I don't get why we have this place where we can walk on, right? First of all, why isn't all of this made out of stone, so we can actually stand here? All around, by the way, all around, not only on this side. Why not build it on this other side as well, so we can actually defend the garrison itself. Now let me try and jump over there. It works, yeah, nice. Oh. Oh. How do you... I know there are items here. I've never seen this item there before. I've never seen this item. What is it? What? Okay, I don't need to see this item. Never pick this up. Never will pick this up again. Gravelstone, for fuck's sake. But for some reason, this is the only place where they have double chronolations? Huh? Like, why not all around? Like, why not here? If you want to have double chronolations. You're not consistent. I guess you have the best angle when the enemy comes in from here? Because you have the best angle, maybe? But oh well. Yeah, sadly, there are no doors again, no rooms, no doors, and like, how you suppose... This is the most important side of the castle to defend, right? Because the enemy can come from there, and then for some reason you can't... Like, there's no structure to support you standing at the wall and shoot down. Maybe lower this wall so you can shoot from this side, or build more wooden structures up here, or even stone structures, for fuck's sake. And then how are you supposed to get up there? Like, you can get up there, and I show you the way now. Oh fuck. Oh, I survived. Survived, nice. Okay, let me jump up there. Okay. You're supposed to jump through that thing up to that platform. But why does this platform exist in the first place? How are you supposed to get to this point? This is clearly destroyed. Somehow. Somehow someone destroyed this one. So, who built this here and why? Why isn't there a staircase then down there, or at least a ladder down there? Why does this even exist? Why do you have walkways on the outside of your castle? or your fort or your garrison or whatever this shithole is, like. Like, I mean, it's okay-ish, because at least it's not on the... Because it's on the cliff side. I mean, it's much more dangerous this way, but at least you're not getting shot from there. But still, why isn't this inside the garrison? Why the fuck would you build it this way? Why not? I mean, you have a lot of room down here, right? Put a room in here, put a room inside this thing I'm standing on. This now thick as wall. Put a room down there and a what's it called? A staircase inside the room. Excuse me. Like in Fort Lithe, whatever it's called, whatever. Same thing, like, why not do it this way? Why having this quote-unquote secret passage? Then finally we have another tower we can get into, and let's see, with dogs inside, of course, dogs. Let's see if we can actually... Oh! It's the same asset as other towers, so we can actually jump up here. I want to see what's up here. Oh! Because usually you can't get up here, right? Because usually there's a ladder. But I guess it's the same, yeah, it's... There's actually stuff here. So they've actually put a corpse star up here, so... And structures up here. That's interesting, so maybe someone thought they would have made this accessible. But it's not. This is not accessible by the player, because here is no ladder. But because I'm here now, I still evaluate this tower as before, because it's one of their famous, or for me now infamous, double tower surprises. Like, first of all, this thing is hollow. This should have more, what's it called, floors. Like, for example, make this whole thing one floor with a small little trapdoor here for the ladder, and then put arrow slits on the sides here. Like, on the, you know what I mean, right? Fuck. Oh, I survived. Second time I almost died this recording. What a record. And then indicate a trapdoor up there and make more floors down here, like, for example, at this side over here, make another floor with arrow slits on the side, so you can actually utilize this tower to its fullest. Then I guess we have a double tower up there, so let's talk about this over there then. And let's talk about these enemies, because this is a big dog. Yeah, this is one of the stronger dogs. And this one is a bit smaller, and this one is, yeah, one of the weaker ones. Then we have a special enemy with a shield and a seal, I guess. Looks very strange. This one tanks a lot, holy shit. Ah yeah, and the one-eyed shield, who cares? So let's have a look at this tower from here, because this is basically the other tower, just with a ladder inside. So I've talked about multiple floors. I would like to see multiple floors here with arrow slits on the side. Then I would like to see a trapdoor at least in the roof, as an indication that you can actually get up there, just not the player. And then let's have a talk about these crenellations, because these are quite different, right? The other crenellations are bigger, and I actually have to talk about these crenellations now, right? These crenellations are not good. they're a smaller version of the crenellations down there, and they have arrow slits, and you have to duck so you're safe. And then why do they even exist? Why do crenellations exist, right? You have a high wall piece where you can hide behind and take cover, and then you have a small wall piece where you can actually shoot, right? You want to attack the enemy, you want to take cover, and you want to attack the enemy. But these are both too small. Like, this one is arguably not small enough. Like, the small part is arguably not small enough. Needs to be lower, maybe. Just maybe, maybe not. And then the high wall piece needs to be much higher. So you can actually stand without having to duck. And then this one also has arrow slits, which are way too low, and actually arrow slits and crenellations make not much sense in my opinion. You want to have one thing or the other, not both, because then with the arrow slit you can't take cover behind you because there's actually a slit there. And then you have murder holes, which are usually pointing downwards with an overhang, and these towers actually have an overhang, so I guess, do they? Yeah, they have small overhang. Murder holes are there so you can actually throw or shoot down right at the foot of the base of the tower or wall piece. For some reason they still have this model with the chimneys. I don't know why these chimneys exist. You can't even get into the base of the tower, so it's just weird. It's just weird design. And this one is like, it's the biggest one, but it makes arguably the least amount of sense from a world design perspective, like from a realism design perspective almost. Like, again, you have on the outside, or on the outside, facing the way or facing the direction where the enemy can come from, these wooden structures. So you can't even shoot down here because your own structures obstruct. Like, what the fuck? Why? Why build this? And then they have, like in Fort Hyde, this ridiculous tower piece thingy, this over here, which is just solid rock, like stone, not rock, stone. And it serves no purpose. At least in Fort Hyde, they had a very, what's it called? A ballista that is very exposed to the enemy. So I don't want to man this ballista, but here they have nothing. And now I wonder how the player is supposed to get to that other item. I guess you can jump up here. And then, yeah, I think that's it. That's how you get there. To the gravel stone. The most useless item there is. Maybe not the most useless item. I guess it's a good crafting item. I don't even know what you can craft with it. But yeah, you can't utilize the most important tower piece. You have no room down there. Like, you have chimneys in these towers, which you can't even utilize. Why do you have towers facing the cliffside? I don't get it. At least, why do we have this big-ass double tower facing the cliffside? At least, if you want to have a tower there, put a small tower there and put the big tower over here. Like, the design is just awful this time. Like, literally, it looks great, right? Like, it looks good. From the outside it looks impressive. From the inside it looks, without thinking, or without closer inspection, it looks good. Like, and it's a fun level design. The level design is good, but the world design is terrible. I mean, no wonder this place is destroyed. Like, you can't even defend this place. And I'm not talking about missing doors here. I'm talking about, like, of course we have missing doors. We have a missing room, we have missing doors, we have missing wall pieces. Like, why isn't there stone or some wood so you can actually stand? Like, put this wooden fuck shit over here, like, these structures, put them inside. They're on the wrong side, by the way. Like, you're not defending, like, or is this a Colosseum of some sort, right? Where you put your enemies inside and then you shoot them from the outside. Like an arena of some sort, like, or a gulag or something, I don't know. Maybe this is not there to defend from the outside, maybe it's there you defend the people that are outside from the inside. Because that would actually make more sense, this way around. So, yeah, I think we are through this good looking, terrible functioning place, I guess. Evaluation time. Enemies. We have quite a lot of enemies in here, or different enemies. We have dogs, we have rats, we have player character enemies. Two types of player character type enemies. Sorry. And player type enemies are probably my favorite type of enemies. Like, yeah, I think they are my favorite type of enemies, these. Because I really like PvP. Not really in this game, because in my opinion they've... the PvP is not fun in my opinion. But it's just my opinion then. Dogs, I don't like fighting dogs. Rats are fine, I guess. I really like fighting humanoid enemies, so you have like 4 different types. 2 different geared human enemies. Rats and dogs, this is 4. 3 or 4, right? So, at least that's better than in the other ones, right? Or most of them at least. And actually a mini-boss, a human enemy as a mini-boss, which is fun, at least for me. Yeah, what else? Level design-wise. The level design is quite fun, right? I think the level design is great. You have a lot to look at, that's what I want to say. It looks quite interesting. Some nice little architecture. Then you have a hidden ladder. A lot of hidden stuff here. A hidden ladder. It's quite hard to see in my opinion. Then you have to jump outside of the castle, or outside of the garrison itself, over here, which is a nice little platforming aspect. You have to be quote-unquote careful not to fall down here, but like, come on, how are you going to fall down here? And it's impressive if you're going up here, like, this is really cool, a framing here. Because when you go up, you see this big ass skull, this big ass whatever this is, right? That's impressive. That's nice framing. And this isn't even part of the garrison itself, like. Then you have a tower that you can't sadly get into. Here you have a fight, then you can get up this tower, open a chest again, yeah. Then you can drop down here and do a little bit of parkour. Like, the level design is fun, like from a purely level design aspect. Like, no realism, nothing. Just the pure level itself is quite fun. I would give it a 7, 8-ish thingy, I guess. But now the world design. How is this thing actually designed from a realism standpoint, or a, let's call it, high fantasy realism standpoint? Because, like, it's high fantasy. This game is high fantasy, so magic exists, but from a realism design perspective, like, first of all, the layout itself is terrible. Why don't you have a room inside? Like a room inside here with maybe a kitchen, maybe with rooms where the soldiers can actually sleep. Right now they have to sleep outside, no wonder they are dead. Yeah. Then you can't even defend this place because you don't... like, how am I supposed to use these arrow slits? Right? Then there are so many missing doors to all these towers. You can get outside of the walls into danger. Isn't that great? No? It's not. But why isn't that great? Like... And even, how are you supposed to get on this structure? Let's say they've built this for some reason. Maybe these are just like for construction. Maybe these are like scaffolding, right? You build them so you can work there, and then you get rid of them. But what are you building? Let's say you want to build something, and this doesn't look like scaffolding. This doesn't look like something where you want to build. Like, why do you even have this piece here? Like, all of this. It makes no sense. Why do we have walkways outside of outside of the safety of your walls? Like, why sometimes they're wood? Why isn't all of this stone? And then again, like, let's say I want to carry a barrel up there. A barrel. Very heavy barrel. Maybe 2 people need to carry this. How, like, do we have to, like, jump at the same time, and maybe we're not dropping the barrel, and maybe we're not falling down here, then we have to carry it on the dangerous side. Like, look how high this thing is. If you're getting nauseous looking down there, oh boy. Let's say you're fainting. Oof. You're dead. Unlucky. Like, you shouldn't be afraid of heights. So the layout makes no sense, really. And I think this one is like one of the worst forts there are. Fort height is terrible, but I can't remember how I rated the other forts. I have no written down thingies, so maybe at some point there's a fort tier list of some sort where I redo all of the ratings, but my initial rating would be like a 2. Like 2-ish. It's very bad. The world design here as well. The design of this thing from a realism standpoint it's really bad. I mean, at least they have walls, but they also don't have walls with all these wooden structures. You can't even defend this thing. I mean, what you can do is you can shoot. At least you can defend from this side, right? If you have to station all your soldiers, you would station them over here. And then you're like, when an enemy is down there and maybe they want to drill in or some sort, because they have magic, they can drill, they have this drill magic, right? Maybe they are trying to drill through the walls and you can't even stop them. You've built them a shield, a roof. These act like roofs for enemies down there. So terrible design, maybe 2. I almost want to give it a 1. But for a 1, they're like, it's a 2. At least you can stand at some points, and how you're supposed to get here, you still have ladders, you can still put up ladders, so it's not impossible to defend, but it's like a challenge. Some people have to stand on roofs, you can't even man the towers. Like, it's terrible. So 7 or 8-ish for level design, because it's quite fun, it's quite the fun level. And a 2 for world design, because it's atrocious, it's a terrible design. Like, it's terrible. But let me know how you would rate this thing. Maybe you don't see things how I see. Maybe you have some insight on why they would build something like this, like the developers. What are they thinking by putting something like this together? Are they thinking, I want to make a fantastic level, or are they thinking, I want to make this thing realistic? I mean, you don't have to do one or the other. You can try and do both, right? Or does it feel impossible? I mean, so I'm criticizing a lot, right? But how would I do something better? How would I make this thing better? First of all around the walls itself, remove all of these structures for now, or let them fade out of your mind, and put like this thing here, what I'm standing, like something to stand on for all walls, like these walls here, so you can actually stand there. Then maybe put a ladder up there so you can climb up the ladder, or actually use doors. I mean, like put a door in there and then make actually a room in there, but a door wouldn't be that good. Maybe a staircase. I mean, it's hard to imagine this from your memory, right? Because then you can also say, yeah, if there's this stone structure here, then what's with all this stuff here? You can actually just push it like 2 meters to the side. You can still have the structure with the stuff you can walk on. Like, you have enough room here. And then get rid of all of the shit that is outside of the castle. Get rid of all of this. If you want to make this, if you want to have something outside of the walls itself, put a natural structure there, like a stone formation, like these, something that the builder can't influence, right? Like, instead of a wooden structure, put a big ass rock here, or a cliffside that ends for some reason over here, like that I can jump onto as a player. Why not? Would make more sense. Okay, it's a natural structure and you've built your thingy upon this natural structure. And don't come with realism in this point. We have, like, have you seen Stormvale Castle? Or have you seen this, the Chapel of Anticipation? How are you going to build this? No realism in building, like, there's no realism in building this thing. No way you can build this thing in a world like this. No way. But it exists. Like, it's not that hard to fix. Put a room down here, put a staircase inside the room. You don't need to hide things like these. They are not that hard to see. Like, there's no big reward in that, in my opinion. At least not for me. I'm not that easily impressed, like... I'm not that, like... And I can't imagine someone is, oh, I found a secret passage to the castle thingy in a small fort like this, so... But yeah, I've done my rating, I've done my very, very small improvement suggestions. It's not hard to think of. It's not that hard. The other one, the Fort Life thingy over here, or however you want to pronounce this, and that was pretty good. Like, oh well. That's enough rambling, that's it from me, and goodbye.